My pleasure to introduce Susan. Susan is with NASA Langley and with the A-Train Symposium. The last symposium was in New Orleans, and I almost got there. Uh, we really wanted to go because we had a bunch of teachers from Louisiana there um, that we kind of work with in Texas. So hopefully next year I'll get to go. But Susan, thank you so much for being here and sharing all this good stuff with us.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I was not at the symposium, but the other educator on our project, Preston Lewis, was there, in addition to Lynn Chambers, who was our project director. So I'm hoping that those of you who were at the symposium were able to see those two folks. Unfortunately, Lynn couldn't come to the conference, so I'm kind of stepping in for Lynn in the Globe area. But one of the things that we're doing, of course, in addition to the Globe training, is trying to involve groups of people. So the A-Train Symposium was a wonderful opportunity for Preston and Lynn to engage, especially the teachers in Louisiana. The A-Train Symposium summer workshop was the kind of the impetus, and then additional Globe training during the symposium, and then I think there's a proposal for a short course at one of the regional NSTAs. So I want, during the little bit of time we have this afternoon, want to talk about how we used the school project and the Globe project to support that symposium. The symposium was actually held in New Orleans October 25th through the 28th. 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, students were asked to make observations, and I'll get to that in a minute. But there was a strong education component to that symposium. So one of the people on our team who actually works for a sister project of ours, My NASA Data, about which I've talked with some of you already today, Dan Ustra, who was at AGU, if any of you were at AGU, actually did this website and the social networking component of it as well. So where did Globe and School come into all of this? Globe and School were both presented at the teacher workshops and helped support the Globe observation campaign. So the education part of this was definitely involved the Globe projects and the school project. So as I mentioned, initially there was a summer workshop. So during the symposium, there were 3 one-day workshops, and part of that was to serve as a follow-up to the summer workshop. Also, there was a huge share-a-thon where scientists from the Aqua Project, Calypso, CloudSat, Aura, and Glory all gave 5 to 10 minute presentations to the teachers. So it was a real nice opportunity for those scientists to meet the educators as well. Also, during the workshop, we did Preston and Lynn did a practice school observation. So that gave the teachers a good idea of what the school project was and how you go out and observe clouds. So the follow-up workshop was nice. That was encouraged actually by the Louisiana teachers. Could we please have a get-together? Could we please have a workshop? And often we do get those requests, and you've probably heard that. You have a workshop, and then it's usually once and done. And it's important to continue that as a follow-up, to keep in touch with those teachers. So it was really a good way for Preston and Lynn to make contact with the teachers that Preston had met during the summer. And here they're doing, you might recognize those sun photometers. That's from the aerosols protocol. So the aerosols protocol and the atmospheric protocol were the two that were used in training for the summer workshop. All right, getting back to the symposium, all of you who are involved in Globe are probably familiar with the observation campaign. 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after, the students were encouraged to make their observations through their normal channels. Well, what were the normal channels? If the schools were already a Globe school, they could go ahead and do their Globe observations through the normal Globe login. We were just trying to get them to do more observations during that before and after period of time. Another way that the students could contribute was to sign up. Both students, teachers, citizen scientists, anyone can be a school rover, R-O-V-E-R, which is about 2 years old, maybe 3 years old now, the School Rover Project. So anyone who is out in the world can decide to observe clouds and be a citizen scientist, and can go to the website and find the overpass time for anywhere they are in the world. So one way that the school project contributed to this observation campaign was to provide a means for any interested person to sign up to observe clouds. And they would know when the Ceres instruments were coming over, Ceres on Aqua and Ceres on Terra. But also, you'll notice up in the left-hand corner, there are other choices. On the school website, the teachers can choose Ceres instrument on Aqua, Ceres instrument on Terra, but they can also choose to observe when Calypso's coming over and when CloudSat's coming over. So there are options. Then, not to get too much into detail about the school project, but if it's in the middle of standardized testing or in the middle of lunch and the students can't go out and observe when the satellite's coming over, we always try to tell the teachers that's not a showstopper. Observe when you can, as often as you can. Notice also that we have a tool on our website where it's a Google-based. We've heard some things about Google, but it is Google-based, and so if the teacher does not know the latitude and longitude, they can just kind of hone in on it until they figure out where they are. So just because the teacher, we're trying to make it so a teacher does not have to step away and go find stuff to come back and re-engage in the website. Everything's right here, and try to make it easy and respectful of teacher time. All right. Once again, back to the A-Train Symposium. The students who were already involved in the CloudSat, the CEN, CloudSat Education Network, the school project, and the Globe project went ahead and observed, and they could become a rover for school if they were not already engaged. Some of them wanted to do 2 different projects, which is fine. So they could go to the website, the regular school website, and register as what we call the permanent school. So I wanted to take just a minute. I could talk a long time about the school project, but I think at this point most people are familiar with school. There are bookmarks on your table, and at the Share-a-thon later in the week I'll have a lot more materials if you want to stop by there, the NSTA Share-a-thon. But by all means, if you want more information about the behind the scenes, how all of this goes on as far as the data center and the scripts that are written and the software, I'm not the girl for that, but I can certainly put you in touch with the right people who can answer those types of questions. We try to make it user-friendly so that the students observe clouds. There's an online report form that they use. They click in, enter their data. The data comes into the NASA Langley Data Center. And then students are able to access their data immediately. They can access their data compared to the satellite data, usually within a few days. They can access data for any of the other participants in the world, given they can choose by date, geographical area, or by login. The scientific premise is to support the Ceres satellite project, the Ceres instrument. So NASA has this cloud project going on, and so the students are actually contributing data to help ground truth the Ceres satellite. And that, I think Todd mentioned, that when you can tie this into an actual mission and make it meaningful, it really carries a lot of weight. So the Ceres instrument is trying to figure out what are the effects of clouds on the Earth's climate. So in that case, if a teacher was at a permanent school or at a permanent location, as opposed to a rover, which could move around, this teacher would register as a participant at that school. So within the participants that we have as of November of this past year, we have 90,000 observation points in 82 countries. Now, our materials are primarily in Spanish, French, and English, but we do have some materials in Italian and German, and then our website is in 7 languages. So you can go to the website and click on the language. Now, some of this is done through Google Translate, but the major languages were actually translated by people with English as their second language, by actual people from those countries. So we're really happy that finally I think Utah was the last state. I don't know why, but it was. So we do have observers in Utah now. So we have all 50 states engaged, which is exciting. And I mentioned the rover. On our rover website, we still have mention of the A-Train Symposium. Some teachers are still emailing us, where's all that information that we were able to get during the A-Train Symposium? What's happening to our student observations? So we have this still up on our rover website. I wanted to give you an example of how what this page, this is an actual screenshot from what the student would see. So, for example, here the city is Managua, Nicaragua, and the students or teacher has received an email that said, you have a match, and that means that the students were out observing when the satellite went over. And then within a few days, the student can click, and they get a graphic like this that compares their data with the satellite data in a graphical view. And it's not difficult for the younger group to understand. Then the students were having such a good time doing this. The teacher wanted to do more. They wanted to analyze. How am I doing on time? I tend to talk too much. Like I said. So one thing. The graphics are nice. We've had good comments about the graphics. This is one of the nice things about the school project. It is easy. It is not a difficult thing to do. Also, one last thing about the symposium itself, we had an activity blog, which was a social networking platform. And again, I'm not sure which one, but it wasn't Facebook, but it was one of the social networking platforms. And there was a virtual meeting site, and this is the screenshot of that homepage. It's still up, so that the scientists could blog, teachers could register and blog. We had about 650 users. We're hoping for more, but that's kind of the way it worked out. There were 32 scientist postings, and it was a way for teachers to they could take pictures and send in pictures of their observation sites. So this is another way that Globe and School and actually MyNASA Data supported the A-Train Symposium. All right, I'm sure I'm out of time, but I'd be happy to answer any quick questions, or I can talk with you later.
Are there any questions?
Thank you.